Even after 15 seasons and just as many years, fans of Supernatural are practically begging for Supernatural Season 16, but will we really be getting another season of this fan-favorite show? Supernatural concluded with a controversial series finale in 2020, and even with that seemingly definitive ending, many want more of Sam and Dean Winchester. Both Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles, along with other key actors from the show, like Misha Collins, have expressed interest in some sort of revival, which raises the questions, is Supernatural Season 16 really going to happen? And, in light of the series finale, how could such a return work? Supernatural Season 16 is not happening, yet. Currently, nothing has been announced when it comes to Supernatural Season 16. Throughout various press events and the many conventions the Supernatural cast members participate in annually, this is a constant question. Yet, at least as far as the public currently knows, Supernatural Season 16, or any other reboot revival, is not in the works at present. Of course, that doesn't automatically mean there isn't something happening behind the scenes. It's entirely possible that these conversations are happening with increasing seriousness and legitimacy, particularly because Ackles and Padalecki previously expressed wanting a break of about 5 years, meaning 2025 would put them right on schedule. It's also possible that other factors would limit an announcement right now. For example, Padalecki, Collins, and Ackles are coming back together in The Boys Season 5, under the direction of Eric Kripp, the creator of Supernatural. Perhaps they are holding off on a more direct Supernatural announcement so that this project isn't undermined. That's entirely speculative, but what is certain is that there is currently no confirmation that Supernatural Season 16 is coming. Even so, it feels almost inevitable that a Supernatural revival will happen eventually, especially because of what the cast and creators have said at various points since the show's conclusion. What Supernatural's cast and creators have said about a reboot. Supernatural's major cast members have all made it abundantly clear that the show will eventually return. In fact, in the same interview in which Padalecki shared that he and Ackles wanted a 5-year break, he stated unequivocally, that statement makes it clear that, at least in Padalecki's view, Supernatural's return is only a matter of time. Likewise, Jensen Ackles spoke about a possible Supernatural return, sharing, "We continue to talk about it. If it happens, then let's go." Ackles also spoke about the most significant obstacle, in his view, which is his current commitment to Amazon projects. Ackles does have multiple shows with Amazon right now, although recent news could very well mean an opening in his schedule. Specifically, with the cancellation of Countdown, Ackles' show that just debuted this year, he may not have as much on his plate. Of course, that's bittersweet, because Ackles and his fans were clearly disappointed to see the show go. The question of Supernatural's creators, showrunners, and others who worked on the project is a bit more complicated, because the show underwent several changes throughout its 15 years. However, creator of the show Eric Kripp has shared his thoughts on a Supernatural reboot, saying, "Admittedly, that feels like a pretty big if, but it's likely Kripp who fans would really want to see at the helm of this next era of Supernatural, should it come. All the show's showrunners were great, and Supernatural had countless directors who were fantastic, but for the show to return triumphant, it does seem safest in Kripp's hands." What Supernatural Season 16 would look like. The ending of Supernatural does pose some problems for a potential reboot. Namely, Sam and Dean's story seemed definitively over at the end of the show, with Dean dying and going to heaven and Sam aging on screen, and then dying and joining Dean in heaven. This seems to show exactly what happened to them. It would therefore be difficult, or potentially even feel like it was undermining the show, for another season to come along and reverse how their story ended. Yet, there are ways to do that without completely backtracking, and fans might be much happier with a different outcome than they were with the Season 15 conclusion. Castile actor Misha Collins even spoke about this directly with Screen Rant, amid other Supernatural cast members' hot takes. Regarding the options for a return, and his Supernatural revival pitch, Collins said, "While this is just one of several ways another season of Supernatural could work, it does make sense." Two of the most controversial moments of Supernatural as a whole were Dean's death at the hands of a random vampire and Castile being taken by the Empty. Collins's suggestion addresses both issues. Where a Supernatural reboot would take place in the timeline. Supernatural has proven it's not afraid to play around with the timeline, be it with Sam and Dean going back in time on multiple occasions or the franchise's willingness to create spin-offs like the Winchesters. That show, although it was ultimately cancelled, jumped back in time and explored John and Mary's story in greater depth. Supernatural could take that approach, going to an earlier period of Supernatural, before the finale, although that creates other problems, including that Padalecki and Ackles have, naturally, aged. Theoretically, the show could also take place after the Season 15 finale, perhaps with Dean temporarily returning Earthside to help Sam with something. The latter is even more problematic than the former, though, because the finale did suggest Sam never saw or heard from Dean again, and he took a complete step back from hunting and raised a family, just as he'd always wanted. Given that, Misha Collins's pitch really does feel like the best way forward. Yes, it would be a retcon, but it would almost certainly be a welcome one. 5 years later, fans remain largely unhappy with how Dean died, or, for some, that Dean died at all. Hitting the reset button to before the empty took Cass could offer a path forward for the show and a new, better ending, eventually. Which characters should return for Supernatural Season 16? No matter which approach, story arc, or timeline a Supernatural reboot chooses, one thing is for sure, any idea for Supernatural Season 16 has to include Ackles as Dean and Padalecki as Sam. The larger Supernatural franchise has unfortunately seen over and over again that other stories just don't work. After all, several Supernatural spin-off shows were either created or in the works, and none was successful long-term. Padalecki, Sam and Ackles Dean really are the secret sauce that makes Supernatural such a success, so their return is absolutely essential for any revival. However, there are other characters who deserve returns as well. Castiel is nearly as popular, if not equally popular, compared to the brothers, so his return would likely also be essential. Beloved characters like Bobby, Jim Beaver, Jody, Kim Rhodes, and even Chuck, Rob Benedict, along with so many others, should be included too. Really, as many returning characters as possible would be best.